Cross, down. Okay, we might... If it's mirrored, we might be able to make this work. That is probably not... Oh, go away. That one's probably not the one I'm looking for, though. Turn that off. Can I turn her off? Okay, I've got to probably reset it. There we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
I got it.
4. That looks like an all the way around the outside one. Yeah, that's definitely an all the way around the outside one. And then up and into the middle here. Now, from my experience, they are always mirrored. So this may work. If so, then we've skipped a step. Was that enough? There's lifeless, but small markings. Let's see. No. Okay, then. There's more to go with that, then. Alright. Well, we'll come back. I'm sure it won't take as long. Alright, let's spin on downstairs. One of the other things I really like about this game is my whole party not here?
I got it.
Is how varied the companions are. You're kind of forced into a position where you have to pick sides to a certain degree.
Stepping lightly.
There's no way out of it. Listen to howls echo within this pit, which descends into darkness. When you crane your neck, you can just barely make out the bane clustered at the bottom.
There has to be a sigil around here somewhere that controls this bridge.
Indeed. I'm sad wrong answer didn't trigger traps. They quite often do, to be fair. It's just not... In the spire rooms, it doesn't seem to be the case that there are regular traps there, but... I would like you to charge straight through, please. Tonk. There you go. Now, I would like to drop... Well, actually... Yeah, there's no point in me doing that. Let's drop fire. And Lantry, also drop fire. And Sirin, let's move you over a little bit closer. And just attack. There we go. And if you could then get some healing going on... Well, actually not healing wisps. Pop healing aura onto Kills in Shadow. I'll use concussive bolt.
So, can't do that.
Not a bad attack, honestly. False Pit.
Even my words are deadly.
Yep. Got something over here. A note. This hastily written note appears to be scribbled in blood and cuts off abruptly. You can barely make out the words. Don't trust Jacquemus. He promised me a commission with the disfavored if I found his dumb cloak pin or whatever it is. Lies. All lies. Lured me to my death is what he did. Ever since I arrived, these things have haunted me. I can hear them in the dark. Interesting bit of quest there, I guess.
On the lookout.
Look around down here. That looks like a way out. Oh, that'll be down to the room down below. That'll probably be the scribbling that we need. Right, this is going to be the last spire that we need as well. Doesn't Shadow move up? Okay, everyone else in the doorway.
Of course.
Kills and Shadow. Could I get Titan's touch on Kills and Shadow? And Kills and Shadow, could you please pounce?
I suppose I can do that.
Heads up, we have company.
Now, will that still work? Because I started casting it before you were out of range. It'd be interesting to see. And pop. Very nice. Right. Let's get False Pit. It doesn't do much to them, but it does seem to do something. And since I can hit multiples with it, it seems to be a decent one. And if nothing else, I'm buffing my control illusions. Rhyme Spike.
On it.
Still aches.
And then let's go for this. Actually, I think I'm going to miss it. No, I did actually catch you. Mage Fire as well. Okay,
Can't do that. Yes. Moving cautiously.
let's have a look what we got here. Be right back. Gonna let the puppies out. I shall bring your audio with me. Very well. Investigate this item. Bring this item to a blacksmith at the Spire Forge. Upgrade to investigate it further. Ooh, okay. There we are. Saphir torch key. Thank you very much. That's what we're going to need. But we may as well poke around and see what else there is to see. Honestly, though, by far and away, I find that the Bane are not really that big of a deal. I say with complete confidence and the certainty that I am probably going to die soon for having said that. Nevertheless, here we are. For something that the whole world seems to be terribly afraid of, we've been bossing it pretty consistently. They've never been anything more than just something that takes me a lot of time. Okay, these are not activating. Not seeing any traps up there, but I... Oh, hello. Kills and Shadow, can you leap onto that one, please? And can I get a fireball there? I will drop a lightning strike there. And Sirin, could you pop... Titan touch on Kills and Shadow. Well, that was quite a nice opening. I'm gonna be honest. I even think I've got Arcane Unraveling there. How often can I use this? Cooldown 1 per rest. So yeah, no. AoE versus Endurance, Weakened and Fatigued Affliction for 65 seconds. Fire a bolt of energy that explodes in an area around the target, weakening and fatiguing all Bane inside the radius. Duration of these effects scales with the Mage Bane Helm's renown. Yeah, we've got a good weapon for dealing with the Bane. I'm not particularly concerned. It's okay. I forgive you. Saw nothing, in fact. Never mind. Just slow moving attack.
Right.
Take a little bit of everything, thank you. Been a long time, but isn't the thing with Bane that they are weak to the arcane and penetrate armor? No, I think they get drawn to magic more than anything. Second relief, though heavily damaged, is clearly meant to depict a runic symbol similar to the one you saw at Ascension Hall. Tonk. Captured by the proportionate image of the ancient relief. The newly added imprint fills the remaining gaps of the scroll, giving you a clear representation of the carved rune.
Have a look here.
Something on the floor? Something to do with the symbol on the floor, yes. Quite a lot of things. We've got a scroll. Oh, that'll be for the...
Cautiously.
the tower then. The library. Splat, if you're still in chat, have you done this on New Game Plus? Because a couple of people have mentioned New Game Plus in here, but one person mentioned that it was relatively new. That it had been added. Perhaps recently is the wrong word, but you haven't done the New Game Plus now. Sounds pretty interesting, to be fair, from what people have been talking about with it. If you get to start over, but with all of the stats on your character, and I haven't quite caught, but you beat it once at release and once a year or so ago. Oh, did you play very different characters the 2 times you played, or did you kind of fall into the same thing? Because I swear, I don't think I could give up magic. I started this character with every intention of just being like a melee character and like, oh yeah, I'm going to be dual-wielding sword, stealthy boy. And then it was like, magic. You did 2 different runs, one with like tanky and one with speed EPS. Also did different story parts. Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I guess that's probably one of the big attractions to it, is that you can run with very different stories. Hello. Let's just all get in there. And apply much magic, please. Then even more much magic.
On it.
And let's buff my weapon. And hopefully stab it there. Wisp critically hit Kills in Shadow, but doesn't seem to really have done that much damage to it. I love the music from Sirin as she's fighting. I also really liked the class I played in Pillars of Eternity, the Bard analog. I really liked the way that the different kind of classes in Pillars of Eternity had drastically different ways of fighting. This Bane snare appears to have ruptured on its own. This would explain some of the Bane currently wandering free. Okay. Ah, poop.
Huh.
Never mind. Oh my lord. Well, that was worth popping over to have a look for. Also, am I filling... I still am filling up my inventory. My goodness. Please stop. Right. Move things over. Oh, yes? Yes, I can. Oh, thank goodness. So much easier. Right. Let's make a rather swift descent. I'm going to run past these without any stealth to see if if these trigger and open. Yes, they do. Good. Could I pop polished arms on myself, please? And then just engage.
I got it.
That quickness definitely helps. You can see the difference between my quickness and Kills in Shadows. Is there a game in this genre that is good for beginners? I think I would like them, but as someone who's never really played, it looks a little confusing on the surface. Nightly Prophet is recommending Divinity Original Sin. I kind of agree and kind of don't. Divinity Original Sin is a really solidly fun game. Without doubt. Without doubt on that one. However, one thing I will say about
I always hit the mark.
Divinity Original Sin 2 is it's kind of open world, and because of the open world nature of it, it can be a little bit complicated in some ways. Mostly from having too many ways of solving a problem. There's no obvious path sometimes. But it is definitely a very, very, a very engaging experience. It's a really good example of this genre at its peak. But I'm not necessarily certain that it is as newbie friendly. Well, actually, I guess newbie friendly. It's reasonably good at trying to explain what it does. But again, the strategy, because it's turn-based, whilst it gives you a lot of time to think about everything, it can feel a little overwhelming, I think.
I got it.
Something down here that I almost missed. You've got your staples, though. Your Baldur's Gates, your of other good examples is Pillars of Eternity, but again, that was made by Obsidian, so it's in much the same way. It's complicated in the same sort of ways.
Following deeply with cloth, but cannot dig way back through solid stone. Yep.
So, I can see what I need to do. Who's the person I'm going to leave back here? Cousin Shadow, come with me. Lantry. Syrian, I'm sorry, but...
Do I really need to?
Yeah, you really do. I am sorry. I don't want to say that this game is
Well, we're not getting out that way unless we find a way to open it up again.
necessarily easy for beginners, but I don't think there's anything particularly hard about this game. At this point, I'm kind of glossing over a lot of the mechanics because we're reasonably far into the story. But I would say that this game is quite... It's got a very open door, let's say. There's no particular barrier to entry with this one, in my opinion. Fireball there. Ooh. Stone of Elucidation again. Thank you. So I've got 2 now. Study the rune. Learned a new spell accent. Timeless form. Nice. Alright, Syrian, you can let yourself out now.
I'll do it right away.
Aavak, something I've always been wondering. Since you live at Welsh standard summertime, how come you always start streaming around midnight till the morning? It just happens to be when... Well, used to be that I would do that because it was generally a safer time for me to do anything in terms of like the world at large being noisier in the day and quieter at night. Other times it's because it's cooler at night. And yet others because I just don't sleep very much. So one time of the day is very much like any other time of the day for me. And it's a bit of a curse of content creators in general, that one. We don't we don't really respond to the typical office hour grind. But right now it's 100% because it's tolerably cool at night. And not any other time of the day. Yeah, this is quite far into the game at this point. The game does a good job of explaining things. Let me see. There's also, if you ever forget things like me, there's also an encyclopedia which goes over all of the various statistics that you might see on weapons and stuff like that. combat mechanics and concepts, afflictions and injuries. It does a good job of putting the information there for you if you want it. You don't have to, study it, but it's there if you want it. So
No one will know I was there.
it is generally a fairly comfortable game in that regard, especially the AI. If you don't want to have hands-on with the combat like I'm doing right now, you can just let the AI do it, and they generally seem to do a decent job.
Yes.
To its credit. We've got plans. Scorn. These plans explain the process of forging the legendary javelin Scorn. Okay.
Curious.
Thank you. Quite a lot of games, especially Divinity, for example, has...
I got it.
You're the one in control, and you have to be the one in control. There isn't an autopilot for you. But this game, at least in the combat sense, has an autopilot, which is, appreciated at times. Ooh, what be you? You be very nice looking. Bright Keystone, Grave Bow.
Heads up, we have company.
Hello. Oh, okay. Well, as you can see, you know what? I'm just going to demonstrate it for you. I'll turn the AI on my main character as well. Now, I can interject and I can cast spells if I want to, but I can just leave the characters to do their own thing. It's also a great notes section where you can enter in your own notes. Right, Aavak? Right? Notes from me. Keep notes. They help. There we go. Are there any other nerds like me who love using the notes section? I imagine there's quite a lot of people who make very good use of the notes section. I used to make use of lots of pieces of paper and stuff, like when I was playing something like Morrowind. I kind of fell out of habit of it. I blame modern gaming, frankly, for making it too easy. I'm just used to the quest markers everywhere now, and I don't think to use my brain anymore. Oh, I'm sure parts of my brain have just decayed out of a lack of use, withered away. No, I was just being really silly. But yeah, you can absolutely use the note system, and you totally should as well. Sigil of Spell Surge. Okay, we've got a couple of interesting things to have a look at here. First and foremost, don't care about you. You can go away. Also, light leather gloves. You can also go away. All of you can go away. But this bow. Now, I'm currently equipped with Outbreak. I would like to have you and compare. Okay, the Grave Bow is an artifact bow. Okay, well, that's an automatic yes. This bow was fashioned to scatter formations of enemy soldiers from afar. It has seen more than its share of combat. Well, I'm sure you're amazing, truly. However, artifact. Artifact. Morrowind is probably my favorite RPG. I feel that Bethesda peaked at Morrowind. Skyrim, don't get me wrong, Oblivion, Skyrim, they have their things that are better than Morrowind, but as a complete package, I think Morrowind was better. There are parts of Skyrim that I wish were in Morrowind, but they're not. But if I were to count how many times I've played Skyrim and said, I wish this thing that was in Morrowind was in Skyrim, versus the amount of times I played Morrowind and being like, I wish this thing that was in Skyrim was in Morrowind. It's not even a fair comparison. It's like trying to compare our sun with a mote of dust. All right, let's have a look at you. Very nice damage, recovery, Armor penetration, 8. That is really, really nice. On weapon crit, foe AoE versus dodge applies the following effects to any Bane. Minus 10 magic defense, minus 10 will defense, minus 10 endurance defense. Outbreak. Versus Outbreak. Outbreak had better DPS and plus 3 armor pen. Or rather, versus Outbreak, this has better DPS and armor pen. And the ability is, we don't have it yet, I need to use it more to get that. But, Chromatic Arrow. Fire a brilliant arrow. All enemies in its path take damage and are blinded. Any Bane who are struck trigger a small explosion that deals arcane damage to all Bane in the area. These effects scale with the Grave Bow's renown. Grave Bow is such a storied weapon that it was long ago written off as a myth. As many contradictory stories of its origin exist as those of its previous users and final resting place. The more recent claim that an Archon of Turmoil wielded the bow in a war to single-handedly destroy the Bane. Some accounts posit that hundreds of bows of differing power share the title of Grave Bow, which has confused the weapon's history and deeds over time. The oldest claim that Grave Bow predates the Old Walls themselves, though none of these claims can be substantiated. A poem claimed to have been taken by charcoal rubbing. A poem claimed to have been taken by charcoal rubbing at the exterior of the Old Walls posits that Gravebow might one day loose an arrow with such force that the Old Walls themselves will crumble, and the surrounding spires will fall like matchsticks. The validity of the source is questionable at best, as the author presented no rubbing and failed to recall the site in which he took it. Whatever else Gravebow might be, it stirs thrums and pulses with energy, desperate to be released. Well, I mean, if nothing else, it looks bloody amazing. Can we all appreciate that? It actually looks like someone grasped at a streak of lightning and then made a bow out of it. Just snatched the lightning out of the air and then dominated it, bent it to its will, put a bowstring on it, and boom, lightning bow. Oh no, Lord Seru, I've played Morrowind several times since I completed Skyrim. I go back to it every now and then. It does lose a little bit of its wonder every single time I replay it because while I try to leave enough time between playthroughs that I forget where things are, I've usually got an idea of where to start looking. Let's put it that way. And so one of the big things that I loved about Morrowind, which was you have to bloody pay attention and ask people the right questions and take notes because the game isn't going to hold your hand. That diminishes every single time a little bit. God, I hate this time of night where I'm both tired and wired. Yeah, that's an ungood feeling, to be fair. Right, okay. Let's first and foremost have a quick look at a couple of things. So, Patonk. Place all the keystones around the platform. Maybe I should do this first before I go up here. Maybe. I've also got reputations, and I've got now a new artifact, the Grave Bow. I've equipped the powerful artifact, so now I've got Chromatic Arrow, which is nice. Furthermore, I've got 2 new spells. Accent increases the duration of the spell's effects, quite nice. And Sigil Spell Surge, accent that causes spells to reduce recovery for a short time after being cast. Okay. Well, Lantry's got 2 bloody spell slots. Okay, let's have a think. First and foremost, I would like Lantry to have a lightning spell. Material Force, expression used to create spells that alter a target's weapon. Allied to target, 10 shock damage. Can I do that with this? Allied to target. Well, why is this one a self? Sigil of Pride magic. Accent that causes material force and guarded form spells to now only affect you but become more powerful and last longer. Ah, that's why. Fair. We're not going to have that one. Volcanic weapon. Accent that uses fire and brimstone to cause material force spells to damage foes in a line. So, on weapon crit. So if you crit with this weapon, you're just going to lay down 10 meters of magma, basically. That's pretty nice. Not going to lie. Could have it last for 72 seconds. And Lantry would still be able to cast it at that speed. But... User, minus 46 recovery for 6 seconds. I wonder if I can increase that for 9 seconds. See, that would be an interesting spell to put on some rapid fire, like chain lightning style of spell. But still, I want an item that I can put on other people's weapons for a bit. Range, I could increase the length of the magma burst. Area of effect. Oh, that's fantastic. I could just donk this down on a bunch of people. It's like, all of you have fire weapons that can pierce better. Truly a marvel. I could reduce the amount of time it takes to cast it, but I don't think we need that one. At this point, having greater range, does that affect the... No, it doesn't affect the radius, sadly. That would have been good. Just a little bit too much for Lantry there, but we could get, for a minute, this would actually give quite a potent weapon. Reinforces an ally's weapon, granting armor penetration to weapon attacks. Sure. Polish arms. No, we'll have polished magma arms. That seems to me more grammatically correct. Oh, wait. I'm foolishly applying that to the wrong space. Let me make sure I'm putting that down here. So, call a sigil. We want force. This, we want it. Sigil of strength. Area of effect. And time. And we want to apply this assign to Lantry. There we go. Lantry, you can now make a very potent weapon there. As in from Poland. Yes. Polish arms. Oh, I forgot to rename it. That's fine. Okay, Aavak in chat. This Belial is going to head to bed now. We've got a long, good day of in-person board games tomorrow. First since pandemic. Got to repair my in-person social aspect. Have a good rest of the stream and a good time soon. Take care, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you have a wonderful sleep and an even wonderfuler game night. Though if you're still here, Belial, what game are you going to be playing? Any board games in particular, or just a collection of them? But now I actually do want lightning of some sort. Use to create spells that travel forward in a path, affecting multiple targets. Use to create spells that affect targets within a cone. Distant targets or near targets. I wonder what we could do with directed force. Ball lightning, we've already got that one, but... Stunning. Killing blows. Leading. Spell surge. Nah, I don't think we want that. A cone lightning spell might not be too bad. Fulmination. Release several waves of electrical energy, charging enemies with shock vulnerability. Following the final wave, unleash all contained energy upon foes in a violent surge of power. Increases shock damage taken for 4 seconds. Damage 1, damage 2. Let's increase that. Thank you. Next up. Minus 46% recovery for 6 seconds. Reasonably high. Or I could add some bleeding. Or add some stunning. I think we'll add the stunning. Stun deflection for 4.4. Stun deflection for 4.4 on the second hit. Mansion of Madness, maybe. Eldritch Horror. Who knows? Many choices. Well, I hope you enjoy, mate. I have been staring at my cabinet, my glass cabinet full of board games with no small amount of regret that I haven't been able to do anything with them for so long. But hopefully soon. We could give just massive armor pen, but I don't think we really need that. I could increase the size of the cone. That's all I could do there. The radius would be better. See, if I drop this cooldown much more, I wonder what would happen if I then had this. How often could I cast this spell? This is what's jumping through my mind. How often could I peel off this spell? It's got a very low cooldown, comparatively speaking. Most of them have crazy high cooldowns. So this would be... Oh, it's minus 46% recovery for 6 seconds. It's still going to be 10 seconds, but how does it apply the minus 46% recovery? Is it every spell cast within that time just has a flat reduction to its recovery, and even when that effect runs out, well, that's it. It basically says, okay, in this time in the future, you're going to be able to cast this spell again. Or is it every second that goes by, it counts, it basically ticks off 1.5 seconds of the roughly speaking, of the recovery time. I don't know. I love this rune system. Reminds me of my days scribbling symbols in a book of shadows as a teen. I know, right? This is absolutely fantastic. I could add a slight interrupt, but I don't think that would really help me. I could really ramp up the amount of time that I have for recovery, which would be nice. I could do that, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think this might be an interesting one. Let's go ahead and sign it. Okay, let's get out. Right, Lantry, I want to see that you use this.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
I'm getting too old for this.
That ability is gone now. We'll try it again in a moment, because we know what it should be. "27-second cooldown." Let's have a watch.
Lantry, you clumsy shit! Focus!
I love it. 36 seconds. No, I can't pull that off. No, I don't think it works that way. I think this is something that we want active, and then we'd be able to cast other spells within that time frame. So that spell doesn't really work for us right now. So we're going to remove Spell Surge and we're going to go for Stunning instead. Update. That should be a bit more of a useful spell for us now. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look. Not that it's really going to be that quick. But we want to see... Dawn Spire, Ocean Spire. Oh! Ha! That's why it didn't connect. Okay. So it is once again a symmetrical symbol.
Will do.
Okay. And this should be good enough. There we are. All right. Time for us to head up. Aavak, thank you for being a highlight of my work night. That's really kind of you to say, the Adosian. Man, that must make you feel so sick. The now familiar light of the spire courses skyward, trailing off towards the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's Well. You feel the ground beneath you fall away as you give in to the warmth of the energy surrounding you. Heyo, it's Alex! Welcome, Raiders! How are you all doing? Am I going to have any more Factorio videos soon? Yes. Also, soon is completely subjective. Don't ask me to define what soon is. My definition will change on a rolling basis every 3 seconds. Chargar, thank you so much for the 3 months, mate. 3rd month, second best month. Diolch yn fawr. Yeah, soon TM. But yes, there will definitely be some Factorio. Alright, we need to find out what Italix was playing. What were you playing, Italix? Actually, you know what? I already know what you were playing. Because I was there at the beginning. I was there for the technical difficulties. But, if anyone here isn't already familiar with Sir Italix, please do follow that link, drop them a follow. They are a fantastic creator and a friend of the stream. They are a quintessential variety streamer. It is rare to catch Italix playing the same game twice in a row. I mean, they'll play the game multiple times, but just not back to back, unless it's Hearts of Iron. In which case, yeah. Or unless Rimworld Randy Random decides to stomp all over his colony, then he's going to play it again, just to kind of show Randy Random that can't keep him down. But other than those two scenarios, very rare. We had much tech issues, but it worked out in the end, and the game is Game of the Year material. Really? Oh, that's fantastic to hear. It looked, what I saw, like I was around, I think, when you managed to get the 60 FPS finally working. Like, I'll be honest, you sounded like there was a lot of frustration in your voice at that point. I was like, oh my lord, how long have you been working on this? It is so bad when you start the stream expecting everything. I think it's the expectation that everything's just going to work that makes it that much worse. Because when I'm just doing my own thing and playing a game and something goes wrong, I actually kind of enjoy solving the problem. It's why, you know, I've got multiple Linux machines. I enjoy fixing things. But when I'm streaming, if anything goes wrong, or even if I think it might be subpar, I get so anxious. So anxious. But no, I was there when it seemed like you fixed the 60 FPS bit and that little part of the tutorial, and it looked so colourful and bouncy. Talix was, of course, playing